This first clip takes us to France, where a woman named Rosanna claims that her apartment has been plagued by a dark and unexplainable presence. For months, she's heard unexplained noises, seen objects move on their own, and felt like something has been watching her from the shadows. One night, while home alone, she begins to hear strange sounds coming from her children's playroom. She grabs her phone and starts recording. What she captures next is truly unsettling. Inside the playroom, toys begin to move entirely on their own. Small objects shift and topple without anyone near them. As Rosanna cautiously approaches, the camera catches something even more chilling. In the reflection of the window, a tall, shadowy figure resembling a man can be seen standing directly behind her. But when she spins around, the room is empty. Moments later, the shadow appears again, lingering just long enough for her to catch it in the glass, before vanishing completely. No doors opened, no sounds followed, just silence. Rosanna claims this dark presence has been haunting her home for months, leaving her and her children terrified. But with no way to move out, she's forced to live alongside whatever it is. Some viewers believe the reflection captured the entity itself, something feeding off her fear. Others insist it must have been a trick of the light, or perhaps something staged. But one thing is certain, whether real or imagined, the fear of Rosanna is unmistakable. So what do you think? Was this the moment she captured a dark spirit on camera, or just a chilling coincidence that's too hard to ignore? Now, as you probably know, people's homes aren't the only places where the unexplainable happens. This next video was captured inside a museum, where something deeply unsettling unfolded on camera. For context, the person recording this was visiting the museum after hearing something strange from his father, who had been there only a few days earlier. His dad couldn't quite explain why, but something about the exhibition dedicated to a woman named Maria Sabina unnerved him. Whether it was the unsettling history tied to her name or the way her wax statue seemed a little too lifelike, the entire exhibition gave him an eerie feeling he couldn't shake. But after seeing what his son captured on video, returning to this museum would be the last thing on his mind. Because as the camera focuses on the statue, something chilling happens.
¡Ay, hijo de güey, qué pedo!
The wax figure of Maria Sabina appears to come alive, tilting its head sharply and deliberately, as if it were aware of being watched. The movement is subtle but undeniable, fast enough to send a jolt through the person behind the camera. Shocked, he keeps filming, waiting for it to move again. But after that brief, disturbing motion, the statue goes completely still, as if nothing ever happened.
Every que pedo?
The footage quickly spread online, leaving many viewers unsettled. The father, however, tried to rationalize what happened. He wondered if the figure might be animatronic, maybe even part of some exhibit feature he hadn't noticed before. But according to the museum's owner, the figure isn't animatronic at all. There are no mechanisms inside it that would make it move. If that's true, then how exactly did its head tilt on its own? That question remains unanswered, and perhaps that's what makes this clip so unnerving. Was it just a trick of perception? Something explainable? Or was it something far stranger? A moment when history itself seemed to move? Whatever the case, one thing is clear. The figure of Maria Sabina left more than just an impression. It left a chill that still lingers long after the footage ends. And this wasn't the only museum where the unexplained made itself known. Because this next piece of footage is from a security camera inside a museum in Russia. The building had already closed for the night. No visitors, no staff, no movement. Just silent exhibit halls lined with historical artifacts and displays, all watched over by a standard security system. The timestamp reads 1926, well after closing hours. By then, the museum should have been completely deserted, but something appeared that shouldn't have been there.
Iya, gördünüz mü? Freezer gibi.
Ram jabık durar.
Ram jabık duruyor ya.
Jabık ketme ғой.
Siz şınap kod жасап жауап бердіңіз. Қайта сізге көрініп, жаңа көрінгенде сіздің есіңіз шығады. Оны көрдіңіз бе? Елес жүр ғой, елес, призрак. Бәрсе өткенде мен түнгі сағат 1-лерде көргем.
In the grainy black and white footage, a faint, translucent figure slowly begins to materialize in the middle of one of the exhibit rooms. At first, it's nothing more than a faint blur, but then the outline becomes clearer. It moves with quiet, deliberate steps between the display cases, as if it knows the room by heart. What stands out most is how defined it looks. This isn't just a shadow or a trick of the light, it's the shape of a person, drifting through the empty museum. For several seconds, the apparition glides through the exhibition space before slowly fading from view. The uploader claimed that this was not the first time unusual activity had been reported in the building, but it was by far the clearest incident ever caught on camera. Many believe that museums are natural magnets for paranormal energy. With centuries of history and artifacts from lives long past gathered in one place, it's not difficult to imagine the presence of spirits lingering. Perhaps a visitor returning after death, a curator unable to let go, or even someone forever tied to the objects on display. But what do you think was captured that night? A spirit making its nightly rounds, or something that can be explained another way? And with that thought lingering, we move on to the next clip, where a ghost hunter got far more than he bargained for. In this video, a ghost hunter named Alex is exploring a reportedly haunted house when he suddenly hears a low rumbling coming from a nearby wardrobe. Instantly on edge, he raises his camera and begins recording, unsure of what he's about to witness. Without warning, the mirror on the wardrobe bursts outward, sending razor-sharp shards of glass flying straight toward him, missing him by only inches. But there's something even stranger here. If you look closely, for a split second, a dark, shadow-like figure can be seen shooting out of the mirror, darting across the room with unnatural speed. Alex doesn't even notice it at the moment. Shaken, he slowly opens the wardrobe, expecting to find someone hiding inside. But it's completely empty. No broken frame, no object that could have caused the explosion. Nothing. The room falls silent again, as if nothing had ever happened. Standing alone in the darkness, Alex is left with more questions than answers. Mirrors have long carried eerie folklore. Some believe they can act as doorways, allowing entities to slip through from somewhere else. If that's true, then what exactly forced its way through this one? Whether there could be a logical explanation or something genuinely paranormal, one thing is certain. Whatever came out of that mirror moved with purpose and vanished without a trace. So what do you think Alex captured that night? A simple accident? Or a fleeting glimpse of something far more sinister? And now we move on from a violent burst of glass to the quiet creak of a restroom door. The tone shifts, but the unease stays. It's just after midnight when a student decides to stay late at school. According to long-standing rumors, the building is haunted, especially the restroom. The story began with his father, who works as the school's caretaker. While cleaning the restrooms during his night shifts, he often claimed to hear faint whispers echoing from the farthest stall. But every time he went to check, the restroom was completely empty. The whispers would stop as suddenly as they had started. It became a running joke between him and his son, but beneath the laughter was a strange sense of unease. Curious, and perhaps a little too eager to prove the story true, the student decided to test it for himself. He waited in the shadows until midnight, then quietly slipped into the restroom, pulling out his phone and hitting record. If something did happen, he wanted proof.
Nah, y'all ever been in a bathroom skipping alone, bro? This is crazy. I'm in here, bro, just alone, and it's like mad weird, bro. Cause like, what if there was some monster or something pop up on me? That shit would be crazy, bro. But I don't know. Like, there's nobody in here. You can come out and shit. I don't even know, bro. But yeah, there's nobody right here, bro. But this shit's crazy, bro. I don't know, but that shit's that weird. What the f? What the f?
At first, the restroom seemed empty. The air is still. The only sound is the faint hum of the lights above. But just as he's about to leave, the door of the last stall creaks open on its own. It's quick, barely noticeable. But if you slow the footage down, something chilling can be seen. A face, pale, fleeting, peeking out from the darkness before vanishing in an instant. The video spread quickly online, and many believe he captured the very entity his father had heard whispering all those nights. But what do you think? Was this proof of something truly haunting that school restroom? Or just a perfectly timed trick of the night? And from a quiet school at night, we head to a retirement home, where something else decided to leave its mark. And that video was shared by a woman named Rachel K., who works at the retirement home where something very unusual was recently caught on camera. A few days earlier, a cleaning crew had been sent to tidy up the second floor. Their main task was to clean several rooms, but more specifically, a pile of cat litter that a visiting child had accidentally spilled in one of the hallways. It was supposed to be just another quiet night shift. But partway through the job, something happened that none of them could explain.
Yeah, that's vegetarian. Vegan will be like, no cheese.
Ew, that's disgusting. Or the vegan cheese.
Or the vegan cheese. That would be...
Y'all scared? I'm not the only one that heard that.
Well, there was this one time when I was in this hallway and
Out of nowhere, clear footprints began to appear on the carpet. No footsteps led up to them, and no more followed after. Just a single set, as if something had walked through the hallway and then disappeared into thin air. What makes it even stranger is the footprints themselves. They're tinted with the same pale, dusty color as the cat litter scattered nearby, as though someone, or something, had stepped directly into it. Earlier that night, the crew had already felt unsettled after hearing strange noises echoing from down the hall. But when the loud crash followed, panic set in. They fled the area, convinced something was there with them. Rachel, the woman who shared the footage, believes that whatever made those noises is the same thing responsible for the mysterious prints. The second floor of this retirement home has long been rumored to be haunted, with countless whispers of strange occurrences after dark. Whether those stories explain what happened here remains uncertain, but one thing is clear: footprints don't appear on their own. So, what do you think? Was this just an odd coincidence, or something far stranger making its presence known? And just when you think it can't get stranger, the next clip shows something making itself known in a far more violent way. It's late one night when three brothers are fast asleep in their shared bedroom. Suddenly, they're jolted awake by a strange sound, something tapping or moving just outside their window.
Bro, it's coming from right there. Bro, but it's hot.
No, germ.
I'm just gonna
I don't care.
I'm gonna crack it a little.
No. No.
As they look over, they experience the fright of their lives. Someone, or something, is peering into their window from the darkness outside. The boys scream and bolt from the room, completely terrified. Unfortunately, the clip was posted without any source or explanation, so we're left to wonder, what did they really see that night? And perhaps even more worrying, how long can that shaky bunk bed survive before it collapses on the poor guy sleeping on the bottom? Did you find this video disturbing already? Then brace yourself for what you're about to see next. Just as in this next video that was uploaded to the internet by a man named Arash Afnan. In the weeks leading up to it, his young son had been telling him strange stories, claiming that one of his dolls had been making noises late at night, and that he often felt as though someone else was in the room with him. At first, Arash brushed it off, thinking it was just a child's imagination. But late one night, everything changed. The sound returned, only this time, it wasn't coming from the boy's room. It was coming from the kitchen.
Bising-bising, nak tidur pun tak boleh. Hantu punya setan, maning kau sorok. Kau lapar nasi ke setan? Bisinglah lagi. Ada dua setan. Bidu diamlah. Apa lagi ni?
Awoken by the noise, the boy quietly grabbed his father's phone, determined to prove that what he'd been hearing was real. The footage he captured begins with a plant pot gently shaking on its own, no one near it. Then, a faint rattling starts coming from inside one of the kitchen cupboards. He slowly walks closer, and when he finally opens it, the same doll that had been scaring him is sitting there. Panicked, the boy slams the doors shut. But when he gathers the courage to open them again, the doll is gone. The cupboard is empty, and the rattling hasn't stopped. When Arash saw the footage the next morning, he was stunned. He had dismissed his son's fear, but now he wasn't so sure. Some believe the doll may be tied to something dark, perhaps even something trying to attach itself to the boy. But what do you think happened in that kitchen? Was it simply a trick of the night, or something much more sinister? And with that, we step inside one of America's most haunted hotels. Mark Sebastian is spending the night at the infamous The Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado. Known as one of the most haunted hotels in North America, it famously inspired The Shining by Stephen King. Over the years, countless guests have claimed to witness strange apparitions, hear phantom footsteps, or feel an unsettling presence in the halls after dark. And on this night, it seems Mark experienced something just as chilling.
Oh shit. I'm not kidding, I just saw someone move in that window. Look in this window, right here. Shh, you hear that?
As he films the exterior of the hotel late at night, his camera captures what appears to be a shadowy figure peeking out from one of the upper windows. At first glance, it could be mistaken for someone standing there. But what makes it truly disturbing is that this particular room is closed off, locked, and entirely inaccessible to the public.
This is the room where I saw something. There's no one there. Hear that?
When Mark brings the footage to the attention of the staff, they can't offer any explanation. No employees are stationed in that room, and it hasn't been used or entered for quite some time.
Really creepy though.
Isn't that creepy?
I'm glad you caught that though.
Me too.
You should show the tours.
Okay, I'll show the tours downstairs. Okay.
Really
I confirmed with the staff that no one was in there. They don't do patrols inside of that room. And most certainly not at 2:30 a.m.
I want to let you know that I was on live the entire night that night. So there are at least 1,000 people who saw the events of the footage you just saw play out in real time. It's a locked whiskey bar that is only open for private events. And as soon as I saw Mr. Shadowman show his ass, I ran up to the door of that room that is on that little patio that you can see in the video, shined a flashlight in and showed that there was no one in there.
Whatever appeared behind that window wasn't supposed to be there. Some believe it could be the ghost of a former guest who never checked out, while others suspect something far older and more mysterious tied to the hotel's long and unsettling history. The Stanley Hotel has a reputation for being a place where the past and the present blur, a place where footsteps echo down empty corridors and figures appear where no one should be standing. So what do you think Mark saw peering from that locked room? A trick of the light? Or one of the many restless spirits said to haunt these halls? Now, in this next clip, it seems that not every haunting is tied to the past. Some are born the moment someone dares to call something in. This video was uploaded to TikTok by a creator known as El Cesar Torres1, who has been documenting a series of increasingly disturbing events unfolding inside his home. According to El Cesar, it all began after he started experimenting with EVP devices, Ouija boards, and other tools meant to communicate with the other side. What he hoped would be a simple attempt to make contact quickly turned into something far more terrifying. Over the following weeks, the activity inside his home grew stronger and more aggressive, until it reached a point where he began to regret ever reaching out in the first place. One night, while lying in bed, he heard strange noises outside his room. Moments later, his TV suddenly lost signal. Nervous and on edge, El Cesar grabbed his phone to start recording.
No. No mames. ¿Qué pedo? O sea, chequen. Mis manos están aquí. No.
The screen flickers, then goes dark. But as the camera slowly pans around the dimly lit room, something even more chilling becomes clear. A shadowy figure stands silently in the darkness, completely still, watching. The video ends there, but its impact didn't. After sharing it with his followers, many became convinced that this figure is the very thing behind the activity he's been documenting. And when looking through his earlier videos, it isn't hard to believe. Whatever answered him when he tried to make contact may have never left. So what do you think was standing in the darkness that night? An intruder? Or something far more sinister? Now sometimes, the most chilling encounters are the ones we don't notice until it's too late. Just as in this next video that comes from a woman named Jordan Bowen, who was home alone late at night when she unknowingly captured something chilling on camera. She'd been relaxing on the couch, watching TV and sending casual Snapchat videos to her friends, something she often did to keep herself company when the apartment felt a little too quiet. It was meant to be a normal night, nothing more. But after sending out a few snaps, one of her friends noticed something strange in the background of one of them. Something Jordan hadn't seen herself. At first glance, nothing seems out of the ordinary. But if you look closely, a shadowy figure appears to move from one room to another, fast, almost gliding through the darkness. It's subtle, easy to miss in real time, but when the footage is slowed down, the shape becomes clear. A large, hunched figure moving silently through the apartment. Whatever it was seemed to have no intention of being seen. It lingered just long enough to be caught on camera, then disappeared into the shadows again. Some who've analyzed the footage believe it could have been an intruder, while others are convinced this was something else entirely, something not human. Whether it was a person, a shadow, or something far stranger, one thing is certain. Jordan wasn't as alone as she thought that night. So what do you think was lurking in the background of her apartment? A simple trick of the light, or something far more unsettling? And with that, we go from a shadow in an apartment to something that looks far less human. In early March of 2025, a woman named Jeanette moved into a new apartment. She had just gotten the keys and was filming the whole moving process for fun, just little clips here and there for her followers. But not long after settling in, something really strange happened. While filming one of those clips, Jeanette accidentally captures something she never expected.
Can I help you?
Remember? We're friends.
No, I don't remember. I don't remember. Please get out of my apartment. Please get out of my apartment. Please get out of my apartment.
A man suddenly walks into her apartment. Jeanette doesn't recognize him, and it seems like he just wandered in after noticing the door was left unlocked. Now, we don't know if police ended up catching him, but that's not even the part viewers are talking about. What really caught people off guard is what happens right before the man enters the apartment. If you look closely, the door appears to open on its own, right as Jeanette is walking toward it. She didn't even notice this until later, when her viewers pointed it out in the comments.
Okay, update. I'm just as confused as you guys are. I have no idea what happened. All I know is whatever happened, I'm grateful to whatever opened this door, because if this didn't open, I don't know, some things probably would have happened.
She manages to get out safely and goes to get help. But then, just a few nights later, something even more unsettling happens. This time, Jeanette is filming a lighthearted video with her cat when things take a disturbing turn. Her camera catches something odd on the bed right behind her. A visible indentation starts forming on the mattress, almost like someone just sat down, even though no one is there. A few seconds later, another imprint appears, right next to the first one. That's when Jeanette realizes what's happening and quietly backs away into the corner of the room. The video keeps rolling, and from where she's standing, you can barely make out what's happening on the bed. But there's a moment where a small, dark shape, or maybe just a shadow, seems to appear for a second. Jeanette's completely freaked out and calls the police. She ends up spending the night at her neighbor's place with her cat. Police did find the man from earlier, who had apparently run off after the first break-in, but they had no explanation for what the camera caught inside the apartment. And as strange as it all is, this wouldn't be the first time someone's experienced something like this during a break-in. Which kind of leaves the big question: what exactly is going on in Jeanette's new place? And why does something unexplainable seem to happen every time someone tries to get in? She's still posting videos about her move, and luckily, there haven't been any more intrusions since then. But for now, the whole thing remains a mystery. Let me know what you think. But for now, let's dive straight into this next disturbing encounter. For this next video, I'm curious to hear your opinion. Do you think it's real or fake? Let's take a look and let me know what you think. This TikTok was posted by user at Alex Huff almost a year ago. In the video, a girl named Alex is home alone. She decides to film a quick clip to show her followers which makeup brand she uses, something they had been asking her for. But what happened next left both her and her viewers absolutely terrified.
Highlighter I use the Milani 05 Soleil. So I'm going to try that on. And no.
Unexplained phenomena occurs on camera. Something so disturbing that Alex, visibly shaken, immediately fled the house. She called her parents in a panic, and when they arrived, she showed them the footage. Since then, there's been no update. Alex eventually deleted the original video, as if she wanted nothing more to do with it. But by then, the clip had already gone viral, spiraling across TikTok and other platforms. Thousands of viewers weighed in, with many speculating that the incident showed signs of poltergeist activity. Alex briefly responded, saying she had never experienced anything like it before, and that she wanted to stay far away from anything paranormal. Maybe that's why she deleted the post. Maybe that's why she went silent. But to this day, there's no further information. No updates, no explanations. Just the disturbing video that refuses to be forgotten. So what do you think? Was it just an elaborate hoax for views, or could this be real? You be the judge. Now that was all for today, folks. If you enjoyed these horrifying clips, click to see more on the video on screen.